everyone, and welcome to episode 159 of the Down South Photo Show with me, Brendan Waits, here in Ocean Grove, Victoria, Australia. On the guy on your other screen or in your other ear who's listening to the podcast, it is Cam Blake in Hobart, Tasmania, Australia. Hello, Cameron. How are you?
Hello. I'm just dying on the other end here.
It's been days now since I've seen you.
How many days? One.
Yeah, probably.
You look a lot different than when I saw you last.
I've probably aged.
The last time I saw you, you were jamming out to Janet Jackson.
Hey, how good's Janet? I won't have an ill word against Janet Jackson. She rocks.
I don't think I know any song of hers that I actually like.
Okay. Oh, well, that's all right. We all have our taste, Cameron, in music. Well, but the overall, so for those of you playing along at home, Cam and I shared a car for a good 4 hours after the workshop on the weekend, during the week, and I took him back to the airport, and my playlist got to run. My playlist is combined with my daughter's playlist, so there was a couple of songs that we had to sort of skip. But out of 10, so the Janet Jackson one, it takes points off me as far as you're concerned.
Is that one of your songs or one of Abby's songs?
That's one of mine.
Proudly.
I've got varying music taste. What's wrong with Janet Jackson?
I don't know. Do you want me to rate your playlist out of 10?
Out of 10.
7.5.
That's good. I'll take that.
Yeah, well, it was some good songs.
There was probably some songs you wouldn't have heard for a while.
Yeah, definitely. You've got a bit of a soft rock going about you.
Yeah, we had a bit of Def Leppard, didn't we?
We had a bit of Def Leppard. We had a lot of Def Leppard. We had a bit of Def Leppard. We had a bit of everything. It was good. I enjoyed it.
We had a bit of Chicago. We had a bit of Foreigner.
Yep.
Foreigner was good. Anyway, that's enough. This is a photo show.
We're turning into a music show now, are we?
Thanks everyone who has liked, followed, and subscribed to the channel along the way. Thanks to all the listeners out there driving their cars and going to the gym and walking their dogs or whatever you're doing. It's been a busy week for us here at the show. We ran our Mallee workshop last weekend. Safe to say, Cam, some good photos were taken.
No?
Don't
know why people pay to come on it. No, it was good. It was great, actually. I may have changed my tune a little bit about the Mallee. I may have started seeing the potential of how good that region is. Mm-hmm. But all jokes aside, yeah, it was great. Good fun. We had 5 wonderful folks at us, and we got to see some cool stuff. And everyone, from what I saw, everyone got some really nice photos. So, yeah, I don't think it was a good one. We didn't have to do too much on this one. Everyone was quite effective with their photography skills anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah, which was good. But like we say all the time, like we don't care. We don't mind what level you're at. You could be an absolute beginner, or you could be, Cam Blake level. The idea is that we will put you in some great locations at the right time of day, and we will show you how to shoot it if you want us to. But if you're happy to go for a wander, well, you can do that too. I think that's what most people, the comments we get is a lot of people say to us, the locations is what it's all about. They would never have thought to go there, or they'd struggle to go there on their own, or to even find a location in the first place. A couple of which were new to the workshop this time, which I was really stoked worked well for us. So, which we'll show a few shots from tonight as we go through and have a bit of a chat about them.
Yeah, that was good. I think it's one of those regions that, and I think I said it a few times on the weekend, it's a big region. Like you can't just sort of pass through that area and go, I'll get some shots and they'll be cool. Because every day, every morning, every afternoon, and every middle of the day has a different location that works really well.
That's right.
Which is why we do such a good job here on the Down South Photo Show Mallee Workshop, because that's what you pay us for. We put you in these spots that we know work. Yeah. And you walk away with photos that look awesome, and you have a few laughs. We had a lot of laughs in this one.
We did.
It got a little bit out of control the more this workshop went on with laughter. But that's a good thing. Right. If you're enjoying your photography and enjoying other people's company, then that's got to be a good thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are you breaking there on the background? You're pressing screen.
No, I'm just actually looking for some stats, and you said that the Mallee's big.
Yes.
The Mallee is roughly 2/3 the size of Tasmania. So it is a very, very big area. 40,000 square kilometres compared to 65,000 square kilometres of Tassie. So it's pretty chunky. And yeah, to be honest, we really scratch the surface. But what it does, I think, is it inspires people. We already had two people stay an extra day to go and check out some more parts of Lake Tyrrell. We also had other people saying, oh, I've got to explore this region further. Yeah. What I will say is we did our first Mallee workshop in October 23. And this time we did it, obviously, in March into April 25. So completely 6 months different time of the year. And although we didn't have the crops this time around, I think the crops were great back in October. I think personally we saw the real Mallee this time, like, dust, dry, arid, hot. Like, well, we were lucky it wasn't anywhere near as hot as
we got to 27 one day, I think we got, which is okay.
Totally fine.
It is. You obviously know the region because you grew up a fair bit of time there. I must admit, when I drive through there, maybe it's me because I'm so used to shooting forests and that kind of stuff down here. But there was a few times I was driving along when I was driving a bus. I'm like, "Geez, this is barren." Like it really tests your photography skills as well. Like it's easy, and I think maybe that's what I did on the first trip. I came along and went, this is just outback Victoria. This is going to be hard. Yeah, but then at the right time of day, there's some really stunning spots. And I think where I struggled was during the middle of the day. But the middle of the day, because we're again amazing at what we do, we filled that up with a beautiful old sheep shearing shed, or we fill it up with an old town that looks like it should be out of a horror movie, or like it really works well where you can fill in that sort of more harsher time with some, I guess, different locations.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there was two. Well, I suppose you're right. There was three, like each day in the middle of the day. So, for example, the shearing shed, which I'm very, very fortunate to have access to. Shout out, I probably doesn't watch the show, Ian, but shout out to Ian who owns the shearing shed.
How can he not watch the show? Doesn't everyone watch it?
True to form of country folk, I gave Ian a call and I said, I'm coming up there in a couple of weeks. We're going to have another crowd of photographers, and he was just like, sure, no worries, mate, whenever, just rock in. And I said, you're going to be there? And he said, no, probably not, but just help yourselves, make yourselves at home. And perfect. That feels really special when you get that kind of access granted to you, particularly when you get there. And we literally had the run of the place.
There was no one there. There was a car maybe at the house, but we didn't see anyone.
It was actually a little bit eerie, wasn't it? There was it felt like a sort of post-apocalyptic. And the shearing shed, there was a bit of little. It almost felt like a tumbleweed was going to blow past. It was that kind of
tumbleweeds.
Yeah, exactly.
If you haven't checked it out, go to the Down South Photo Show Facebook page and have a look at Cam roll one over. I like the music you put to the other one.
If you see it on the reel, that's right. The reel's coming because all the kids do reels now, right? So the reels are where it's at.
It is. The sharing shed was great. Then I know you're going to talk about the settlement town, Pioneer Settlement.
Yeah. So the Pioneer Settlement, and look, the Pioneer Settlement's been there for, feels like 70 years, but probably is. And it would be actually. But it's, for those of you who don't know, the Pioneer Settlement is basically a recreation of an old, early pioneer town on the Murray River with paddle steamers. So
is it not
very,
the
very cool.
Town?
No, it's not the original town. Some of the buildings may be original buildings that were relocated there.
I actually thought it was part of the original town.
No, it's not. As I say, some of the buildings were relocated there, but it's not actually part of the original town. I'm pretty sure Campbell Street, the main street, was always the area of the town close to the bridge there. So similar to Sovereign Hill in Ballarat, quite a similar vibe.
I do have a bone to pick with you about
another one.
A Pioneer Settlement.
Yes.
You promised me a lolly shop. And I didn't see a lolly shop.
Did you go looking for a lolly shop?
I did. I had a look around.
There on their website. Sure there is one there.
I'm on their website now, and I'm struggling to find where the old lolly shop was. So that was a bit disappointing. But the blacksmith was cool. Well,
the blacksmith, yeah. An amazing
black person, blacksmith. What is it? Like it was a girl. It wasn't a guy. It was a girl. So yeah. Is it a blacksmith or a blacksmith or
blacksmith?
Or is it just a black person?
It's a blacksmith, Cameron.
Right.
That's with male or female. No, it's not. You're a blacksmith. She was amazing. They were amazing.
Hey, you've still got my bloody nail.
Oh, I have too.
Yeah, I got a nail made by.
That is in my camera bag. My apologies. I'll send it to you in the post because that won't be creepy. But yeah, the blacksmith made nails for us, and which was great because they got the forge going and the sparks were coming out. And I've shown the photo before that I got last year, but this will be a fresh one for people. So yeah, the pioneers went amazing. So, and then day 3 during the middle of the day we go to wonderful Naya West, and I know the locals up in Swan Hill will be going, wonderful Naya West, what the hell are you talking about? But for a photographer, it's pretty cool.
I haven't seen Naya West like we've seen it.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's just old building. Now these are original old buildings that are just left.
And now, answer me this:
okay,
is it abandoned on purpose, or is it abandoned and just abandoned? Like it looks like some of the shops have just been left.
Yeah,
and it's almost like, hey, this draws people in. Let's just leave it as it is.
Probably left because they couldn't rent them out, but you couldn't do business in the town anymore because the town has shrunk so much. Right. A lot of people relocating to Swan Hill or bigger rural towns, maybe even into Naya itself, which we didn't go to.
So where's Naya?
Naya. So where we turned off the highway at that roadhouse and to head to Naya West.
BP,
if you just continue 2 kilometres, you're in Naya.
Oh, right.
So, and there's another bridge there that we could shoot. No worries at all next time. So there's only so many hours in a workshop day though, Cam.
Well, that's it. And even though we still planned it around less hours each day, they still felt like big days with lots of bits of drive in there. But that was good. Are we doing it again next year?
Look, I think we should. And we haven't exactly nailed the date down yet, but I'm pretty confident that it's going to be pretty much the same time of year next year. So I think you can already book on our website, apparently.
Shit. Now I've got to do something tomorrow. Thanks very much.
So if you want to head over to dsps.com.au and you can check out the workshops tab, and you can probably book it or register your interest or do something there if you want to come next year. It's one of those workshops that obviously I love to do, and as Cam said, he's now starting to warm to it very much. So and every time we go, we come back with new photos or something different or a new location, which we'll talk about shortly. But first, a bit of homework. We'll circle back to the Mallee in a second, but a bit of homework. We have our April photo comp up at our Facebook page. So if you go over to Facebook, search the Down South Photo Show, follow the page, and you'll see a pinned post at the top. And Cameron, what does that pinned post say?
It says, welcome to this month's photography competition, and the theme is glass.
Seamless.
And seamless. And then it allows you to post your photo in that thread or in that post. And at the end of this month, which is going to be still 20 days or so, Brendan and I will sit down and we'll choose a winner. And then that winner will get something from one of us. I can't remember who it is, but
I think it's my dig. That'll be $100 gift voucher from Ocean Grove Camera and Photo.
Awesome. And then from there, it'll go up next month as the people's choice out of the top 10. And then the top 10 will pick a people's winner out of that. So that'll be up there now, ready to go. And as we speak, I'm just putting up the Mallee workshop. It's up there. Done.
Bang.
So I don't know if it's right or it's right. I've doubled the price, like you said to do. Is that right?
Tripled, mate. Come on.
We can change that stuff.
Come on. If you want to head over to the Facebook page, Down South Photo Show Facebook page, and enter the monthly comp, the theme is glass. Please go ahead and do that. Already a few entries there as we record this. So jump on and have a little look-see. But yeah, circling back to the Mallee workshop that we did, one thing I quite enjoyed this time around was the varying camera systems that people were using. We had a few different ones. We had a couple of OM system. We had a Fuji setup. We had a couple of Nikon systems. We had Leica. We had someone else with a Leica.
Someone referred to Nikon as a Dicon. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah, I think they were trying to say Nikon D something and ended up.
Yeah, I think they were trying to say Nikon D, whatever, and it ended up coming up with Dicon. Which, you know what? It works for me.
It must be said that Cam and I, being predominantly Olympus users over the last little journey, sometimes we do get presented with a couple of head scratches on how to change some settings on cameras. And I must say, from this particular trip, I think the Nikon system was the one that I felt was the most convoluted and a little bit like harder to get my head around. And purely because I don't use it. I mean, it's probably totally fine, but there was a couple of places where you would drill down into menu on menu on menu and then find it, when it really should have just been in the first menu or on a button, for God's sake. So,
you said something quite interesting there. You said, you tried to nail it down where it was, but because you don't use it, you don't really know where it is.
Yes.
The people who use it don't know where it is. Nikon menus are notoriously bad. That's the one brand that I always struggle with. To the point, like I said, I'm actually considering buying a Nikon digital camera purely for my own use, so I can get used to their menus, because they are really, really interesting. I was telling you,
interesting is a word for it.
I was telling you off air that I met with a young bloke who's going on an adventure down south of Tassie, and he wanted me to help with some of his settings on his camera, which will actually tie in nicely to our dear Camden question later on.
Absolutely.
He used a Canon, and then straight away in the menu system, I found that a lot more user-friendly than what I found the Nikon. So I'd be interested to know if people find Nikon menu systems tricky, those who use it or those who may come across it. But it's a funny one. But yeah, we got stuck a couple of times.
Yeah, I think for me, it's the icons down the left-hand side, which, they just sort of don't make a lot of sense, but it's where they put the different things within those menus that don't sort of add up to me. I'm just going to get one up on the screen so I can show you a bit.
Even like self-timer. Sometimes the self-timer is buried somewhere where it shouldn't be. Oh, my God.
There's a Nikon menu there.
Yeah,
and I mean, the first two make sense. They're playback menu and camera menu and video menu, I suppose. Then you've got a pencil. What's a pencil do? I don't know. Then you've got a toolbox. Okay, I can dig a toolbox. But next down, you've got a paintbrush, or it looks like a paintbrush. What is that? And then the one after that, you've got a little notepad with a tick on it.
So I would read that then. I would say, right, well, the top one is to adjust the playback settings.
Yes.
Perhaps. The next one is
I would agree.
Settings. The next one would be camera settings.
Yep.
Next one would be movie settings.
Yes.
The next one would be...
It's a pencil.
What's a pencil?
I don't even know what it is. What is it?
Okay. What about the next one after that is the spanner? That's pretty normal.
Well, the spanner, you'd normally find things in the spanner like, I don't know, what do you find in the spanner? Like charging, how you want to charge it, how you want to set up your memory cards, card one does this, card two does that.
Yeah.
Date and time, all that sort of stuff. That's in your spanner. I mean, I get that. The toolbox.
The toolbox. Yeah, you get that. After that.
What's that?
What's that? Like, is that where you erase things? Or is it to do with something with the memory card?
I didn't think this would humour me so much, throwing this thing up on the screen.
Well, it's interesting. See if you can get a Canon one way of talking. And then the next one is a checklist.
This could be a whole episode.
Like, is it a checklist?
Yeah, well, it looks like a checklist, doesn't it?
What are we checking? What's the list for?
I don't know.
And then there's a question mark. That's the one I'd be pushing to figure out what the top ones are.
That's right. Is the question mark help you explain what this mess means?
What is it? It's weird.
I don't know.
Anyway, so, you wonder why people go a bit batty on things.
Yeah, we should. We will do that one episode. We'll put all of those screens up and we'll see which one makes the most.
That's really going to give me a headache if we do that.
I've said this before on the show, and to me, what would make more sense to today's user would be icons. So like apps, like you have on your phone.
Yeah, you see, you're driving this harder. You're in with Apple.
Is that too easy?
You know what's going to happen? Someone's going to bring out a camera with these little app icons, and you are going to cream your jocks when that happens. You're going to go, that was all about.
There it is. There it is.
And we won't. Your head will just get bigger.
Yeah, well, breaking news, it's actually been done before, but it died 1,000 deaths. That was the Samsung camera we talked about earlier with interchangeable in another episode with interchangeable lenses, which was the NX system, I want to say. I've still got one somewhere. One day I'll unearth it and go, wow, and I'll bring it on the show and show you. It was actually a really clever system. It had quite a big screen and it was all just apps. And you could just go into your apps and change your different camera settings. But anyway, there you go. We digress. Cam, yes, go ahead.
You know how they do, like, bring your girlfriend to work or bring your wife to work thing? We need to, like, bring your shitty camera to the Outside Photo Show and show it off.
Bring your operating system to the episode. Photo of the week. Now, it probably comes as no surprise that where our photos of the week come from. And Cameron, out of the 4 images you put up there, which one would you like to use as your photo of the week?
Let's do the tree in the water.
I like it. This one.
That one.
Beautiful.
That was that was after I went up to my shins in mud. And I washed those shoes today. I put them in the washing machine. They're back to their brilliant orange and yellow white color.
Very good.
So yeah, this was at just further west from Naya West on the way to Manangatang.
Towards Chinkapuk.
Just before you get to Chinkapuk. No, ladies and gents, we're not speaking a different language. We are speaking what. So this is we had a beautiful sunset here. This is a good spot that I chose, that I scouted and found all by myself and didn't get any credit from anyone. Oh, look at him. He's dropping backgrounds off and everything.
Oh, I just thought I'd change the background because it was a bit distracting. Now you can really see the...
Jesus Christ.
I know, it's crazy, right?
So yeah, this is my sunset spot that I found without any help from anyone else and located it and scouted it and stuff like that. But we had a little bit of water in there and then we had this beautiful color right at the end of the day. So it was good. That was really nice, actually. There was like all these dead trees and then there was some patterns in the salt and then there was some reflections that you could use as well. But
I think we got a little lucky. I think we got a little lucky because we got up there on the Friday night. We're going to start Saturday night and it was raining, out in these areas that we wanted to shoot. So we had to sort of do a bit of a sidestep and change location for the morning. And that meant that these little lakes around the place got a bit of water in them and just enough water because it was quite breezy here, but because the water was so low, like you're talking about millimeters of water, there was no ripples. It couldn't make ripples. So we got really, really nice reflections. And it was one of those sunsets where the mauve color in the sky came out a good 15 minutes after sunset.
Yeah, as it usually does. A lot of people leave too early at sunsets.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're not walking back to your car, sort of every step being maybe potentially your last through thick scrub and boulders and ripping your legs apart or twisting or mud. If you're not doing that on the way home from a sunset, you've stayed. It's not long enough. You've gone too early. So,
yeah, it was one of those ones where we sort of got there. I mean, and with all the sunsets that we shot and sunrises, we didn't have a lot of cloud, which you look at and go, I would have liked to have. But at the end of the day, I think we did pretty well. I mean, you would rather have no cloud than complete cloud, I guess. So like grayed out. So it gave us the color palettes through the sky, which I really liked.
Yeah, I think for these kind of places as well, where you do have those big skies, I think it works either way. You either have that big gradient of color, like you just mentioned, or you have, speckled clouds everywhere. I'd like one of the other shots will show. I was really happy with the sky because it had these clouds and just big sky of endless clouds. So it works both ways, which is one of the beauties of that location. Even if it was wet, I think it would work. So I think either way, it's good. Yeah,
definitely. So I will bring up, if you don't mind, I'll show you what I consider to be one of my photos of the trip. Lake Tyrrell. I mean, it's much spoken of. If you're into your landscape photography and you haven't heard of Lake Tyrrell, just Google search Tyrrell, Lake Tyrrell. That's Sea Lake in the Mallee. Sea Lake is the town known as the heart of the Mallee. Beautiful little town as well. You head out the road and you get this massive salt lake.
Huge.
And again, it was different this time around because last time we were there, this was under half a meter of water. So we couldn't get out to these spots last time, but this time it really turned it on for us. This was sunset day one. And we just all spread out across the lake. There was 7 photographers dotted along the lake, all finding this kind of stuff. just interesting little formations in the salt, which change like on the week. They'll get some rain. This will be washed out. Something will change it, take its place. There was the odd tumbleweed going across the lake, which was pretty cool. There was a couple of posts that had salt crystals
that are all eroded, hadn't they? They've been rusted and eroded. And
one thing that was a little bit of a bummer was the footprints, but there wasn't much you could do about that unless you're prepared to really hike right out further in the lake.
Well, that's what I tried to do on that last morning that we're out there. Is I set up Mal and a few others, and they were all pretty happy. And then I went, I'm going to go for a wander, and it was one of those, because it's so flat and endless. I could see little things up 100 meters away, but I get there in 2 seconds. I'm like, oh, that wasn't 100 meters. That's like 20 meters. And I'm like, oh, that looks. So I just kept walking. And I turned back at one stage where I think we knew it's saying, I can see you. I'm like, hey, you see, maybe I'm walking for half an hour here. Yeah. And I'd only gone 400 meters.
Yeah, your depth perception really changes in this place.
It really does. It's quite cool.
Yeah. And the thing that caught my eye with this particular image was the way that the texture of the salt sort of matches the texture of the cloud in the sky. I was looking for a bit of pattern repetition. And the thing with this sunset, it was so fleeting. Those clouds lit up for 20 seconds and it was over.
Yeah. I hate those ones.
Yeah, I know. You just got to hope that you're set up and pointing in the right direction at the right time. This was after those clouds in the sky had got their pink color, but I still don't mind it because they've got a bit of that mauve in the sky, and the foreground sort of paints itself. So it was good to see that.
And then the sunset I was referring to just seemed to take forever to happen.
Oh, the sunrise.
Sunrise, sorry, when I was out walking. I'm like, I think I sent a message, when the hell is this bloody sun coming up? We've been out here for an hour and nothing's happening. Yeah.
Well, because we run that workshop right before daylight savings ends, we get a 7:40 sunrise, which is just gentleman's hours. I mean, we could do.
No, not at all. No, we don't. But we will. Hey, can you hear my light? Can you hear my light motor in the background?
I cannot. No.
Okay, good. I can hear. I thought it might have been coming through. I got a little light out here. It's got a little cooling fan that's annoying me.
No. So while we're still in the Mallee, I'm going to chuck up a couple more photos. Here's one of yours, Cam.
Oh, okay. So that's the one I was talking about with the clouds. The clouds were this was middle of the day almost. And the clouds were sort of getting a bit backlit. Which was quite weird. They sort of had that, they were sort of really standing off the blue sky. Which was pretty cool. And I saw these patterns. I was locked into these patterns pretty much the whole workshop. So every time I went out there, I'm like, I love these patterns. What can we do about these patterns? And then, the sky rocked up like that. And I thought, okay, I can put these in the front and then put them at the back. I was just looking, that gentleman in the background wasn't part of our group, but did send me a message online. I should give him a shout out. I can't think of his name.
Oh, really? Oh, he did too. Yeah, he said that. He said good idea while you're out on the salt there. Yeah.
Yeah. Which was really weird. I'm like, how of all places to be, there was a gentleman out there. So I can't. Oh, there he is. Philip Down. His name was. Thanks, Philip. Saw you post an image on Lake Tyrrell. I was there photographing on Saturday around 1 p.m. I said g'day to a gentleman. Was this you by any chance? I said, well, clearly not me, but I was there. But yeah, that was weird. You sort of go places and all of a sudden there's someone saying g'day to you. So it's good.
Yeah, that's right. It is cool like that as well, that you can sort of bump into. I mean, the thing about Tyrrell, it just attracts photographers. When I was there, I don't know whether you saw this at the sunrise cam, when I walked out to where the water was, there's just that little pond off to the right as you look out over the lake. So I walked out there, I got out and I could start to see something in the distance. I'm like, what the hell is that? Got closer and closer, and it was a tripod with a camera on it that had been left there all night.
Oh, all right.
So, and I'm going to assume that they were just doing some long sort of time-lapse astro stuff.
Oh, did you take the memory card in?
Would I do a thing like that?
How's that for a dog act? Go up there, press the shutter, take the memory card out, and then leave a note saying, if you'd like your photos, it's going to cost you this much.
We have them. Yeah, that was it was one of those things that it was kind of weird to see. And then I sort of went a bit further, and then another group turned up and claimed the camera. So that was quite interesting. So
cool
this place here was, this is now the third image I've got of this spot, and all three look completely different at three different times. For those of you who want to go to Tyrrell, this is actually quite close to the car park. There's the little walk that you take with us. This is the walk that takes you back to the park entrance gate or the lake entrance gate. And again, if it's got water in it, you get all the reflections. If it's got no water in it, it gets that arid look. If it's like this, it's sort of got some water off to the right with a bit of reflection, but it's big sky country. And that's, that's what I really enjoyed. That it was because one of our customers just had a hankering for some big sky stuff, and it delivered.
Yeah, Julie was really happy. I didn't even go on that side of Lake Tyrrell at all this trip. I went straight out, so I probably missed a few shots there.
I mean, it's one of those things where if you've done the lake and you feel, or if you've been there a couple of days in particular and you need a bit of structure to your photos, well, you've got the old telegraph line there to help you out with that. So then we ventured into the shearing shed when we did a little bit of natural light portrait stuff with Glyn Lavender's words ringing in my ears. So I was teaching people how to shoot in natural light.
You did have your inner Glyn on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's hard not to be influenced by someone like him who is, a genius when it comes to this sort of stuff. So it was basically just explaining that if you ever want to find good natural light for a portrait shoot, go to a shearing shed. Oh. You can't go wrong.
Yep.
Thanks, Mel, for this
Mel.
image.
Yeah, Mel.
Well, thanks, Cam, for taking it, but thanks, Mel, for posing for it.
I was gonna put a you joke in there about yous. You really need to go to the sheep shearing shed. That was Mel. Mel wasn't posing originally. Then I saw him. He was either getting bored with what we were talking about, or he was just pondering. And then I couldn't fire off when he was pondering. Then I asked him if he'd look up, and then he gave me this shot.
Yeah, so. Mel didn't give much feedback at the time, but he did in the bus later on. He was saying he kept saying, "Oh, what a great spot, and what a." Yeah. I love that shearing shed, but at the time it's like he gets immersed in the moment. He works out the shots that he wants to get and away he goes. So, which is cool, and each their own. That's what we like when we do these tours. So that was another one. And then we
You're not going to put me up, are you?
No, I'm not. We also, this was right beside the, where the lake that Cam showed before with the dead trees. I just wandered over onto the road. And this is the Nye West Chinkapook Road. Very, very up close and personal with the white line. It just sort of drew my attention with a bit of texture. Yeah. That road surface has probably already been there for 30 plus years. And like the day it was built. So it was cool to see this sort of stuff in an arid sort of, just looking for foregrounds and looking for points of interest along the way.
Yeah. You can see why it hurts when you come off bikes and motorbikes and push bikes.
That's right. That
doesn't look inviting.
And then one of the highlights of the trip, another one, was when we went out on our way back. It was basically the last shoot of the trip, and that was at Ultima, where we had a little astro session. So
we did, and we almost got collected by.
That's a great shot, Cam. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, that was on the train line that wasn't in use, but then all of a sudden was. It was quite pretty funny. We were all set up on the disused train line off to the right, and you would have thought you'd hear that train coming a lot further out than where it did, but we had a big freight train that had actually been filling up in Manangatang, filling up grain on the day when we went up there earlier in the day. So it had taken a good 6 or 7 hours for it to fill up. And it was making its way south. I'd imagine making its way down to the port somewhere. And then we stopped and we did a bit of an astro session with the silo, and it was just handy that the Milky Way was pointing straight down the train line to make it vanishing line or a vanishing point.
Totally organised, of course, wasn't it? Totally.
Yeah, well, we controlled the stars, you know that. Yeah. So it was good getting everyone. I shudder, pun intended, a bit with doing astro on workshops, because if people don't know it, getting people set up in the dark can be quite a tricky one.
Yes.
But once everyone started getting that sort of base exposure right, everyone was getting the same shots on their screen. And one thing that we had, you can see it's quite orange in that foreground, which is we had this big sodium light or big street light behind us with this orange glow. I actually think it sort of helped with the rustic look of the tracks, but it was making it tricky to edit. So I've had to actually cool that color temperature in the sky down a little bit. So I selected the sky, just toned it down a bit. But apart from that, it's not much else that's been done to it.
Yeah, and what you can see there, folks, in the distance is the very, very rare sight. That's a silo in the Mallee that's not painted. They are quite rare.
Yeah.
But
they are
the
cool,
solo art was pretty cool. Oh,
yeah,
the
they are
solo
very
art
cool.
trail, very good. I really like that. And last but not least, this was the train that Cam was speaking of. This is Manangatang. So we went out here again during the middle of the day and looking to shoot the train lines, and blow me down, there's a dirty great train there. So
yeah,
and
it was a big train.
It was. So that, from what we could work out, that entire length of the train moved forward and then connected all those other carriages you see on the right of it, and then headed down through Ultima and past us when we got there for Astro. So
I'm really
pretty cool.
I'm really keen to see. I think Mel and a couple of others got the train coming through their frame.
Yes.
I didn't get to get that. I was doing something in the back of the van, but and it would have looked like just that glow of the lights would look really cool. So I'm interested to see how those guys went as well.
So shout out to those of you who are listening along this week and wondering why there's so many photos being presented. But jump onto the YouTube channel and check out the photos if you want to see some photos of the trip. Next week, I'm optimistic that each one of our participants are going to send through a photo, and we're going to have a look at them. So
they will. People don't.
Do you reckon that's going to work out?
No, people never send photos through.
We'll find out. I know one person in particular is very keen to send one through. So
Julie.
We'll get it.
Julie.
We'll get at least one. It's not Julie.
Mel or Mel?
It was Flick, of course.
Oh, Flick.
Very, very enthusiastic.
Oh,
so we're a bit close there.
Jesus. God. Yeah, no, it was a good trip. Got some great photos. Like I said, plenty of laughs. Had some good food as well. The food was good. Goodness
me. So I'd like to give a couple of shout outs to a couple of places. One was the Sky Mirror Cafe in Sea Lake. Fantastic hospitality in there. It was Rowan, the owner. I got to meet Rowan, so shout out to Rowan, and Cam said good day to him as well. Amazing gallery in there. If you want to go and check that out, that's the Sky Mirror Cafe in the main street of Sea Lake. The team at Cafe 202 in Swan Hill, thank you so much for looking after us there. We became locals there again, which was excellent. Coffee was amazing. Service was incredible. That's a tight ship. That's a great spot for brekkie.
They need to name something after us. The Down South Photo Show breakfast or something.
We could arrange that, I'm sure. And last but by no means least, the team at the Sea Lake Hotel, who I know for a fact on the last night we were there were incredibly under the pump. They had no idea that they were going to be doing 45 meals that night, and I know I got that from the horse's mouth. But they managed to look after us and get us out for our sunset shoot. So big shout out to the team at the Sea Lake Hotel. So just a few of the people that we enjoyed the company of while we're up in the Mallee.
Tell you what, the buffet on the first night at Sea Lake was nice. That Chinese,
wasn't it?
The lemon chicken and satay chicken, that was delicious. So if you're passing through Sea Lake, you've got some great options, and then if you're staying in Swan Hill, Cafe 202 is great. They do a very, very good hot chocolate.
There you go. In Cam's own cup as well.
Yeah, I don't have it down here, but yeah.
Awesome. Should we do a Dear Cam?
Yeah, let's do it. It's relevant.
Dear Camdan, or is it Brennerin? Nice one, David. This is from David M. Is this the David M that I know?
It's the David M we know.
G'day, Dave.
I haven't heard from David for a while. Where is he?
David from Ararat. Hello, David.
He's custom the Murray Mallee workshop.
He is. A question about custom settings. Most DSLR and mirrorless cameras have space for 4 custom settings, and even my trusty Olympus TG6 Tough has 2, but people don't talk much about them. Are they underutilized, and do you use them or not? If so, what setups would you have at the ready with custom settings? Cameras.
That's a brilliant question, David. Yes, a lot of them do have at least 3, sometimes 4 custom settings. I have just been out tonight setting up a Young Blokes Canon R6 Mark II with 3 custom settings. I do use them. I have them on my Olympus camera setup, and I have them set up for different things, but the most one I use is probably the birding mode. So I have custom one set up for my bird tracking and bird photography that I do with the big long lens that I've got. But I do set up quite a lot of cameras that people are starting out just to give them a really good starting point for each genre that they're trying to do. So, yeah, I do use them. I think they're great. I think it's a smart way to set things up and get yourself there quicker. I know how many times I've been somewhere doing something landscape and all of a sudden an eagle flies over. I'm like, oh God, that's all right, custom one, bang, I'm ready to go. So it takes a lot of that change over time really out of the question. And yeah, I reckon if you've got them, at least use a couple of them, set them up for something. Astro's another one, having that sort of base setting for your Astro ready to go. So yeah, I don't think they're as underutilized as David might think. There's a lot of people using them, but you're right. You just don't hear much about people setting them up and things like that. So
yeah. They're an absolutely brilliant idea. I can't remember when they were first introduced, but it was probably about 10, 15 years ago when you could see the C1, C2, C3 actually on the mode dial itself.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I think is great because exactly for what the reason you just said, you can just you've got everything pre-programmed. You can just turn it to that mode. You know it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Because the big issue and we talk about this is it's fine to get all the settings right. You got to remember to switch them back the next. So if you go to shoot Astro, for example, and you want to shoot a sunrise the next morning, you got to set them back. So maybe having an Astro set up, maybe having a birding set up, maybe having a portrait set up, for example, would work really well. And the reason I know that they are excellent ideas is because I never use them. So they must be good ideas. So,
you only take photos every 6 months.
It's getting worse, probably longer than that now. I do take photos quite regularly.
How many photos did you take on the Mallee workshop?
This time around, I haven't checked, but I would have thought, I'd be surprised if I didn't shoot 700 or 800 frames, I guess.
Okay.
Something like that, I would have thought. I mean, which doesn't really sound like a lot when you break it down over 4 days. But no, I'm probably, I mean, I don't know. I'm probably less prone to shooting on these things, mainly because I want to help people, I guess. But I'm always keen to get people set up, as you said before, get people set up, get them shooting, and then go and get my stuff.
Yeah.
If time allows. So there's a bit of that going on. But also, I think I've been to that spot a lot of times. It takes something special now in that area for me to get my camera out. So I'm pretty comfortable with the catalog I've got so far. But I think ideally I'd go back up there again on my own, or maybe with yourself at some point, and we just cruise around looking for other locations. So yeah. But anyway, in answer to your question, David, they are underutilized. People should get used to them, and keen photographers should use those modes more.
Yeah, I agree. And if you're not sure how to do them, they are pretty simple. Pretty much in a nutshell, you set it up how you would in whatever mode you're going to shoot it up in, whatever you want to do. For example, Astro, I will put mine into manual mode, manual exposure mode. I'll put it into manual focus. I dial the ISO up to maybe 1600. I have my aperture at like f2.8, and I'd have like a 15-second shutter speed. And then what I would do is go into my menu and say, assign this to custom mode 1. So those settings are now saved as custom mode 1. You can go and change it as many times as you want, but every time you want to go Astro, you just go into custom mode 1 and it's ready to go. I find it's a really good sort of base to start with. You're always tweaking a little bit, but you're not tweaking as much as if you're starting from scratch. So yeah, give it a crack.
Yeah, you should. If you have a question for the Deer Cam segment, please send it in to us. You can hit us up via dsps.com.au. There are links to email addresses, or you can email that guy, or you can email me, or you can hit us up through Facebook. So we're always looking for questions for Deer Cam. So as I say, if you've got one, by all means, hit us up.
Test me out.
Test the man out. I like it. Beer donations for this week, Cameron.
Beer donations, we have Susan N, we have Jenny C, and we have Monica O, who apparently we forgot to shout out last time, but I think we did. I don't know.
Yeah, and Monica is very patiently waiting for me to work on one of her images, and apologies, Mon.
Is that the same one that she had 2 months ago?
Yeah, but she's very patient.
Is that the snow tree at Bryce Canyon that's waiting to be printed?
It'll be worth the wait, Mon. Be worth the wait.
I'm waiting for my redwoods bloody a year ago.
Not a year yet. It's nearly a year.
If you rock up on that workshop with it rolled up in a canvas for me, there'll be trouble. That's all the shout outs for beer that I have on my record.
if you would like to buy us a beer, head to dsps.com.au. Click a link there that says buy us a beer. You can buy us one beer, you can buy us both a beer, or you can buy us a box of beer.
Or a cup.
If you want. Buy us no beers. That's totally fine. Just head over to dsps.com.au and check us out there. So, where are we at? Cam, what have you got coming up this week?
Oh, I thought I'd stay home for 3 days and then go somewhere else.
Sure. That's sort of the modus operandi at the moment. That's what you do. Home.
Yeah. So I am taking off on the weekend, heading up to Cairns and the Daintree for our very first macro workshop with myself and the lovely Cheryl Davis Photography. We'll be up there for about 4 days, exploring around, 5 days, 4 days, exploring around like Mossman Gorge, up into Daintree, Cape Tribulation, and we'll be chasing little bugs and insects and flowers and anything that's really macro-y we're going to be chasing. So although there is a few storms rolling in up there at the moment, so I might have to take a wide-angle lens as well. And
I think
that's the good thing about this. I was talking to Cheryl today about it, talking about workshops. I'm like, well, we're not really doing sunrise or sunsets, really. We're doing macro, so it's sleep in the bed early. Like, I love it. This is my kind of workshop. So yeah, we'll see how we go. But I'm really excited. It should be good. This is Cheryl and I have done a couple of sort of 1 or 2 day workshops together, single day stuff. But this will be the first multi-day one we're doing together as macro, which is her domain. So really excited to see how that goes. We've got a really good crew. People have already started heading up there. Yeah, looking forward to it. So it should be fun.
No, it's an exciting workshop, and it's funny because this is 2 weeks running now where I want to book into this one next year, but
well, you can book into this one as well if you like.
I don't have unlimited money or time, unfortunately. Yeah, I know you will. You're very good at doing cheap deals.
Yeah. So you know what though? You know those 2 spots we were talking about today.
Yes,
Gonski.
Excellent. Good to hear.
Back in the black, baby.
I'm glad to hear it. What have I got coming up? Okay, I'm off to Adelaide.
Adelaide.
So there's a bit of a chance. I'm not sure if we'll get a show out next week, folks. Sorry, but we'll see how we go because Cam will be up north and I'll be over a bit further west of here. So, and I'm heading to Adelaide next Wednesday. So, catching up with my daughter in Adelaide. Can't wait.
That'd be cool. Are you going to any events over there?
Look, there might be. At this point, I'm booked in for 3 games of football, so we'll just see what happens.
Right, yeah. Okay.
Gather Round is on. Yeah, Thursday night and Friday night.
See, Collingwood don't want to go there anymore.
Well, bad luck because I'm going to watch them on Friday night, so I hope they turn up.
Well, I think they're getting beaten. I think they're getting beaten as we record this. They're behind in Carlton v Collingwood. So,
well, this has happened before, and Carlton fans all know how it ends. So hopefully this time that's not the case, Blues, and you get up.
We're not going to bring up footy, are we, Brendan?
No, it's not a football channel.
Ever. I thought you gave him the middle finger then.
Oh, there was that. This has been episode 159 of the Down South Photo Show. We will see you in the near future for episode 160. The milestones keep ticking along.
41 episodes left before 200.
Anything to add, Mr. Blake?
No, I don't. I was just thinking 200 episodes. That's going to be a big one.
No, that better be a live show, like with a studio audience.
We'll rent out a studio.
We do it at BFOP 2026.
Oh, what is it? 40. So it's 40 weeks away.
No, it'll be around this time next year, I would imagine. We sort of, we miss a few here or there, so it'll be roughly in a year's time. So maybe we'll do it up in the Mallee. No one listens.
Yeah, that'd be good. We did. Well, Matt, look at all the videos we did. We're up there this week.
We did a few, but haven't really done much with them. It might happen yet, though. We'll see what we can put together. I did put out that one. I made a reel.
You made a reel? That was very funny. With the Wild World of Sports music. But yes, no, nothing else to add. Thank you for the participants who came to Murray Mallee. Hope people.
Absolutely.
That's on sale now on our website. Go to dsps.com.au. It's the same time next year, late March, Murray Mallee. There's 6 spots available.
We have 6 spots available.
And they sell, well, I think they're going to sell quicker this year. So,
well, this time around, we sold 6 spots with 3 months to go. Yeah. So if that's any indication, we'll probably do that again this year.
And all you need to do is just lock it a small deposit and pay the rest later on. It's easy. Get your spot now. See you next year.
Lock it away. All right. This has been episode 159 of the Down South Photo Show. Say goodbye, Cameron.
Say goodbye, Cameron. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. I need sleep.